Good morning, students. In last lecture, we have discussed about the organizational pattern of hospital pharmacy. In that, the location in detail we have studied where it should be there. Okay, it should be easily accessible at the ground floor if it is a multi-story building. Then the facilities or the requirements generally should be present at any hospital pharmacy department that we have discussed. Then we have seen the layout, different plants. This what was the small general hospital, and this is for the bigger hospital having bigger bed capacity of 300 beds. Now, next point today will be starting is staff requirement. Any hospital who is having the hospital pharmacy services at their uh, as a facilities, there are specific guidelines which should be followed to make it effective one. So guidelines for hospital pharmacies should undertake a number of aspects like compounding, dispensing, distribution and storage of medicines. So if all these things were taken into consideration, you will be uh, getting an idea how much number of staffs were required in your department. So in that, first an important person is the chief pharmacist, who generally should be a postgraduate in pharmacy or might be having some equivalent sort of training and experience taken in the pharmacy field. Is generally responsible for many activities like development, supervision, coordination of everything, all the activities which are necessary to be done in the hospital pharmacy services or department. This is a single chief pharmacist is required. Then it requires one registered pharmacist if it is having average of 133 patients, who those patients might be inpatients or outpatients, that is indoor or outdoors patients. So if the number is around 133, you also require one registered pharmacist. If the capacity of the hospital is less than 500 patients, okay, and it is providing the services uh, 24 hours, that is called as round the clock services, you require a team of 4 pharmacists, registered pharmacists, and depending upon the load of work, there should be other personnel required, which are called as assistants, attendants and sweepers. So collectively these uh, are the staff requirements, along with to perform the clerical work. Okay, we should have a, it is single typist, which is also called as clerk, for each hospital pharmacy department. Then further, the guidelines for hospital pharmacists undertaking preparations of parenteral solutions and also pharmaceutical preparations requiring some special techniques which are called as aseptic techniques, and there also formulations are prepared over there. So in that, there will be if such conditions are there, in addition to this, earlier just I have discussed chief pharmacist, registered pharmacist, assistants, attendant and sweepers, there will be requirement of some additional personnel, okay, to have the proper distribution of the work. So let us see, the in addition to above mentioned work, they if engaged in the manufacturing of drug, therefore it is having the requirement of many persons, like a manufacturing pharmacist. Okay, just I told, see, manufacturing drug, if it is there, their work is there for big what is scale. Okay, you will be having the requirement of a manufacturing pharmacist, who generally is called as a deputy pharmacist, and his qualification might be B Pharm or M Pharm, and you should have the sufficient experience of manufacturing with that person, with that particular pharmacist. Then you should also have an analytical chemist with a suitable experience. Further, if the workload is varying, if it is more, okay, there should be again additional number of the technicians, attendees and sweepers will be required for the same hospital pharmacy department. Then this is the number of staff pharmacists generally recommended uh, in the hospitals to provide round the clock pharmaceutical services, particularly for both inpatient and outpatient departments. So here you can find the two columns in this table: bed space and number of pharmacists required. So there are variation in the number of bed capacity of the hospitals. If it is up to 50, it requires chief pharmacist. If 100, 5, 200, 8, 300, requiring 10 pharmacists, and 500 up to you will be requiring the 15 number of pharmacists to have the proper conduction or even distribution of the load which is there. Okay, everything, every function which is performed in that case should be properly distributed. Okay, that is the number required. Okay, depends upon hospital, they are actually having those numbers or not, but they should have these numbers. Now this is again in detail about each and every person's, okay, depending upon the manufacturing area or dispensing area, quality control area and official work. So there are number of persons required. Let us see in detail. Again, these are depending upon the bed strength of the hospitals. See, first department is manufacturing department, which is also called as dispensing, in the first column, and then second column is the number of beds. Here the variations are there: 500 to 1000, then 250 to 500, and less than 250. The number of persons of these things we will be discussing. First is the director of that department, pharmaceutical services. Qualifications given in bracket: M.Pharm or PhD. Okay, they are required generally only if the bed size are more than 500 to 1000. Okay, no need in these medium size hospitals, even 500 or less we are not requiring this director. Chief pharmacist is the must person, chief hospital pharmacist, who is called as grade 1 M Pharm. See, they are required for two sizes of the hospitals: 500 to 1000 and as well as 250 to 500. Not compulsorily should be present in this 250, but different books mention that the chief hospital pharmacist is must for every hospital. In this they have not mentioned it is must in last case of bed size less than 250. Then hospital pharmacy of grade 2, they are requiring one for each of these three variation in the weight size. Then assistant pharmacist, a D farm who is there, okay, all requiring a single D farm personnel assistant. Then electrician, again they are needed, okay, actually it should also be there in this, because without electrician it is hardly possible to conduct proper work in the department. But depending upon the size they are there. Then technicians, see number are more, 3 in case of 500 to 1000, 2 in case of 250 to 500, and 2 in case of lesser, that is less than 250. Then class 4 staff, these are number requires are more, 7, 5 and 3 respectively. Then another is the quality control department. Here again chief pharmacist, grade 1 is called as, okay, 1 each. Then analyst or who is B Farm grade 2 person, it also requiring all one in that category. Analyst also requiring 1 each. Technicians more required, 3 to 1. Then class 4 staff 332. And official work, generally they will be requiring single for every case, lower division clerk, stenographer, sweeper, and class 4 staff for office. So these are the staff requirements as depending upon the bed strength of different hospital. Now the last point is the most important one, okay, the topic is the function and responsibilities of the head of department of pharmaceutical services and the staff of that particular department. These responsibilities can be divided depending upon the areas where they are carrying out their works, for the where the pharmacist has been assigned to do the duties. So collectively these must be responsible, they should have the responsibility taken to have a proper functioning and to have the proper efficiency towards their staff on one hand, and the HOD has to also handle the hospital administrators on the other hand. So the area wise functions and responsibility of the persons working in this department are like this. First you can say is the inpatient or indoor pharmacy department or responsibility. See, this department we know indoor, okay, means the patients who are admitted in the hospitals, that is the first. And second will be the major categorization in the functional responsibilities is the outdoor or outpatient pharmacist responsibilities. Further they are again subdivided into uh, categories like central dispensing area, patient care area, direct patient care area, and general responsibilities. So these are 4, A, B, C, D. So let us discuss in detail about each individually. First is central dispensing area. In that, what are the functions of those pharmacists needed to be done? First is to ensure that all drugs are stored and dispensed correctly. See, first an important thing, definitely everything, every medicament which is kept in the department should be properly stored, and dispensing should also be done properly, including the investigational drugs. Then it should have a proper control of drug stored and the supplies from his section. So it is the responsibility of that hospital pharmacist. Next is to check the accuracy of the dosage prepared. Whatever dosage has been prepared in the department, especially the intravenous admixtures, then if they are practicing unit dosage, and to uh, see that good techniques are followed and used properly, all the procedures which are used for the compounding of those preparations for the same category, intravenous mixtures, okay, and the uh, responsibility of this hospital pharmacist is to have a proper watch on these dosage preparations. Next, to keep a proper record, okay, every record which is there, record maintenance of record of many things are to be there, kept by the department. Here many things are there actually, okay, along with the preparation of bills. And this what we can say is to keep the accurate records of the patient's medication supplied or provided to the patients who are might be in here inpatient, okay, who are admitted, particularly the intravenous admixtures and all the investigational drugs which are there. Further, the bills for drug which are supplied to the discharge patient section, so again has to be properly maintained, its record should be there. Then also has to maintain a proper record of all the reports on the drug used and issued from his department, okay. So there these are number of things or records to be taken or maintained by the hospital pharmacist. Next, fourth one, to coordinate the overall pharmaceutical needs of the patient care areas with the central dispensing areas. Overall pharmaceutical needs, see, they have to make a proper coordination, whatever needs or which are called as pharmaceutical needs, particularly in case patient care area, okay, the responsibility of hospital pharmacist is to have a proper coordination. For example, adherence to the delivery of the schedules. Then further, he has to ensure that all laws and rules which are applicable to this his sections are properly followed. So that is how he is able to coordinate overall pharmaceutical needs in this area. Fifth one, to ensure that the established policies and procedures which are kept forward or laid down are properly followed. See, again, whatever rules regulations which are decided, okay, they depends upon the pharmacist to have a proper eye, along with that whatever central dispensing area is there, okay, it should be kept in proper condition, which is neatness, cleanliness, these things are to be followed properly. Sixth one, to maintain professional competency, particularly that he keeps himself full of information regarding drugs in current use for the hospital. See, in this case, uh, professional competency means he should have a sound knowledge of the drugs which are kept in the central dispensing area which are used or distributed in this area. Okay, and he should be able to uh, give his knowledge to the required personnel. Okay, like patients, sometimes physicians, is called as professional competency. So what he sort of information we know generally, uh, that is, if we say about the side effects are there, okay, sometimes adverse reactions are there, drug interactions are there, the efficacy, therapeutic efficacy is there, sometimes there is incompatibility, sometimes the stability. So these are one number of conditions. Its knowledge should be properly acquired by the pharmacist in this central dispensing area. Okay, and should be able to give the information to the required or needy person. Next, to communicate with all the staff is called as pharmacy staff regarding the new development in that area. They are to also assist in the evaluation of employees of this section. He has to communicate definitely, which is there, but along with that, he should be able to tell in the communication to the staff of his department what are different new things, additional thing, or we can say new drugs, new brands, new techniques in the pharmacy services has been there. Along with proper evaluation technique should be employed for the persons working in that department. Okay, evaluation, that is uh, proper scrutinization should be done to ascertain they are well knowledgeable and they are having the proper information with them. Next, eighth one is to ensure that the new personnel in his sections are properly trained in policies and procedures of central dispensing area. Definitely, okay, all the personnel who are appointed in that department, that particular central dispensing area, they should be having the detailed knowledge of all the policies, rules, regulations, procedures which are there. Okay, they should have a watch on whether all of the persons were using it or following that properly. Then to coordinate, ninth one is to coordinate the activities of the area with the available staff and to make the best possible use of the person and resources. See, unless otherwise you are having the ability of proper coordination, so there are not always all hospital providing the said number. In earlier case, just I told that bed size and bed space or bed size and the table in that we have discussed number of pharmacists required. So I told, see, up to 50 beds they are requiring 3 pharmacists. So not every hospital will be giving you the 3 number of pharmacists. Okay, they may be carrying out the work with single or 2. So what I want to say, whatever staff available, see, important word, the available staff, okay, by use of the available staff he should have to coordinate all of the activities which are there with best possible use. Okay, means whatever so resources he is having and whatever person he are having, though using them properly, okay, he will be able to make a sound impact on the day-to-day working of the hospital pharmacy department, particularly central dispensing area. Then next, second section is in indoor patient is the patient care areas. See, earlier what we have discussed in A, there are the functions and responsibility regarding central dispensing area. Here, patient care area. Now, where the patients are admitted or actually they are needing the care, like wards, operation theaters, and all other departments of hospital where the drug is specially categorized, means all they are having the actual connection with the patient or they are used by the patients, hence it is called as patient care areas. The pharmacist in charge of this section has got following responsibilities to play. First is to maintain a proper liaison, okay, with the nurses who are involved in the drug administration to the patients in their charge, okay, because all the nurses, if there are variation in the number of uh, numbers in the nurses, okay, if we say one has appointed or given to take care of the 2 or 3 patients on the one nurse, so the pharmacist has to take care, or he has to proper review should be done, that whether the nurses were properly giving the required dosage, the administration of drugs were there in time or not. So he has to do a proper connection with the nurses to have smooth and regular administration of the drugs which are given in the prescription. Further, he reviews and interpret each unit dose prescription and also the intravenous admixture medication order, and to ensure that it is entered accurately into the unit dose or IV admixture system. Means I can say whenever the pharmacist is dealing or having a watch on the medication, he has to make a proper interpretation that the doses were calculated properly, okay, if it is if hospital is having that sort of uh, work, okay, earlier which was there, dosage were calculated in the hospital, then the important thing is the IV admixtures, whether the dosing of these intravenous admixtures when they were given, their quantities should be precise, their dosing time should also be properly maintained, okay. So role of pharmacist is there to have this thing done properly. Further, in the same is also communicating with the nurses and physicians who are concerning with the administration problems of medications, okay. Not only nurse, he has to maintain the liaison with the nurses along with the physicians also, who are uh, what are called as they are coming periodically to inspect the medications, okay, or they are means the physicians only giving the prescription, but the role of the pharmacist to have a proper watch on the nurses whether they are giving it properly or not, then to make sure that adequate quantity of supplies are maintained or not in this department. Further, because the nurses, they will administer when only the adequate number of the medications, the supplies should be properly maintained, okay, or available. Further, the pharmacist is assuring that other supportive services are also performed correctly in his department, and whatever procurement or else purchasing is there, okay, should be properly done. Sometimes the medicaments are needed to be brought from the central dispensing areas, so he has to make a proper liaisons with that also. Then next function is reviewing of drug administration in each patient periodically. Okay, see, just I told you the nearly similar sort of function it is there. Okay, periodical reviewing regularly the whatever dosage which are there to be administered. Okay, and they should be properly charted. Charted means entered into the chart which is kept nearby the patient or every patient. In the same in the review, what we can say, also reviewing all the doses which might be missed. Okay, sometimes it is possible the nurses or the patient, due to some problems, unavoidable conditions, they are missing certain number of doses. So it is the role of pharmacist to reschedule them properly, and when necessary they have to sign, means they have to make some marking on the chart that so and so drugs are not given. Okay, they have to keep into notice, bring into notice of the physicians also. Or further, you should also assure that the new administration, means the new drug administered, they are mentioned in certain sort of forms. Okay, sometimes if uh, just I told, if the rescheduling is done, okay, you have to mention in the form or in the record on the chart that it has been additional in the earlier doses which has been missed. Further, is confirming periodically that administered doses are correctly noted on the patient's chart. And the patient chart is there where whatever doses which are given, okay, again it should be mentioned properly. Further, is to ensure that the records for the administered narcotics are also kept correctly. The important thing, narcotics are the substances which are proper care is needed, special attention is needed, and the pharmacist has to do that. Then they have to inform to the physicians or doctors that the if narcotics were properly given, so they have to tell that all the automatic stop order has to be generated. Okay, means once the dose has been completed, one thing terminology is there, automatic stop order. Okay, it's particularly in case of these narcotic substances is there. Next function is to provide instructions and the assistance to the junior pharmacist as needed in the dealing with difficult patients and new procedures. Now this is another important aspect, okay, because the pharmacist has the experience, okay, who is there in the pharmacy department. uh, he has to give a proper instructions to the junior pharmacist about such problems, okay, which are called as difficult patients, and sometimes new procedures conducted or added in that case. So uh, what he has to do over here is to assure that the junior pharmacist are in proper communication with the nurses about number of things like which is called as PRN, that is pro ray data as needed. Okay, and the license definitely means he has to teach properly the junior pharmacist about a proper coordination or communication with the pharmacists, the nurses, the medical personnel who are there. Okay, and ask the junior pharmacist to follow all the policies and rules which are there. Okay, then last function is to coordinate overall pharmaceutical services in the running unit level. Overall means each and every thing, like he also ensuring the junior pharmacist just keep the unit medication area neat and clean in proper orderly manner. Then proper security is to be maintained in the medication area. Then he has to take care to prevent certain thefts. So these things may possible in the this particular patient care area. Okay, so these are the few of the important functions. Further, the another functions are also remaining that we'll be discussing in our next lecture. Thank you, take care.